7. Limp in particular, 12 heroes played, is tied for second most of the tournament, and you're talking about him against a relatively new superstar talented potential, but a relatively new mid player in GPK on the Gambit side.
Yeah, Brian, they seem okay to play whatever they need to play that fits what they need for the other team, rather than what they might be comfortable playing or what they prefer to be playing, or even what the meta is playing right now. They seem to be able to go wherever they want.
Yeah, my primary concern going into this series is Limp against GPK. I think some of the games where Alliance has suffered the most, I remember an Outworld Devourer game from Limp where he just gets bullied in lane, loses his tower, and he spends a lot of the time recovering, and that kind of just slows down their 5-man that they really want to do, and he's the momentum setter, right? And he allows and enables players like Nico Baby to participate in the game earlier than they normally would. And GPK, like you said, he's an all-star, and I think this is his biggest test so far in the tournament for Limp.
Many mids look pretty average this tournament already, including some male, by the way, which is no easy task.
Yeah, as a dude that's showing up in his first big LAN on this kind of a stage to have the kind of technical performances, he's clearly just not felt the pressure yet at this event, which is awesome. Vampire looked amazing early at the 4. He's fallen off a little bit, but GPK has been, if anything, he's just gotten a little better and better. The question is, can you guarantee him that comfort matchup? Because I think Limp is the kind of guy that can take him outside of that comfort zone.
Yeah. What do you made of these early bans so far?
The Alchemist ban by
that's
Gambit.
where they first picked it yesterday on Alliance, if you weren't there for that, guys. Third game, we're back to TI meta, apparently, with Alchemist, despite all the nerfs. It just proven, I think teams are just getting really good at defending their side of the map, right? They're just making it, they're putting such a high priority on defending their towers, retaining map control in areas that they want to farm, and Alchemist is just the #1 candidate for abusing that.
The Morph obviously stops us having the
Or Shaker.
Or Shaker.
Although we have seen a couple of Earthshaker mids in this tournament.
And so that was what I was going to ask you, is it better to ban the Morph, or is it better to ban the Shaker?
I would rather ban the Morphling.
Okay.
For sure. I think one of the questions I had coming into this was, especially after last night and Void being completely ignored in that first draft, whether either of these teams would leave Void on the table going in first phase. And again, until that game, Alliance, dating all the way back to last weekend in almost 20 straight drafts, had picked Void first every time it was available. Has Alliance changed the way they value the Faceless Void, or are they going to go back to that hero in the hands of that man you see on screen?
I doubt they'll do anything other than Void. They do ban out the Jakiro, you know. Shout out to Paul. Your hero's top tier for Alliance. But
you talked to FNG, didn't you? you talked out. You're like, hey, bro.
I may have said something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the Void again.
And we talked about Wyvern throughout the course of this tournament, and they just go mag Jug. Okay, that's... I don't love Jug against the Void, but usually you go for this like diffusal build when you have the mag. It enables you to go it, and mana burn against the Void I think is the best way to deal with heroes that usually can't kill them.
And it's partly a block pick, because they could have had the mag with the Void.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
So they don't want to give that away, but they also wanted to ban the 3, so you end up getting 4 bans, effectively.
And teams have realized that if they delay their carry pick, we were talking about this, when they last picked Bloodseeker on the side of Alliance, it doesn't ever have like a perfect game, because the enemy team's gonna draft against the mag. So if you're picking this like heavy physical damage carry anyways, might as well just pick them early on in the draft. Like, they have heroes that enable them to farm early and have that be your priority going forward. The Wyvern just such a good save counter initiation against these wombo combo mag void type heroes. It goes both directions, right? We were talking about it for Gambit potentially picking it up, but Alliance putting high priority. It's almost like block picking it for later.
Both selective
save a ban.
Yeah.
But I think that's important, because we talked about first phase Wyvern in this tournament. I was not convinced we'd see a lot of it. BSJ was on that train. It came into the meta against the Void, but this is like the 3rd or 4th time that we've seen it pick first phase with the Void to help with that lane. And also, again, we made the point regarding the Enigma 3 versus 4, but when those big ultimates become complementary pieces in the team fight rather than something that you have to plan the whole thing around, they're just so much easier to get value out of.
I really hope to see a Legion Commander ban by Gambit.
Oh, yes.
It's just 33's most played hero this entire tournament, as well as the fact that it goes well with Void and it's good in lane against the Jug. I think it's just something you know they're going to pick it if you don't ban it, and I don't think you don't want to have to worry about it in your next round of picks because they have to pick first going into the second round on the side of Gambit. And if you know a hero's possible, sometimes you'll plan for it and then give them some other perfect pick because you're thinking about too many things. And
You can
that's a good drawing.
Patch
Patch,
Gaben.
please.
you can write to your lord at gaben@valvesoftware.com.
Yeah. I do like the Chen ban, though. Again, we've seen TNC use that. Gambit has used that dating back to last year to push tempo in these games. Really, when Void has felt at his most vulnerable in this tournament is when he gets pressured in lane and just has to catch up because he's not a natural flash farmer until he gets to that Maelstrom or has something like Empower on his side. The mag is something else that I want to talk about in terms of that teamfight ulti because 4-position mag was something that I didn't really like before this tournament, but it's done better than 3 mag.
Yeah.
And part of it is that 3 mag RP has felt very easy to play around.
Yeah. Tough to get off as well, it seems. I mean, we like a 35-minute game.
Oh, that was 33
no RPs
yesterday.
at all. Yeah,
right.
no RPs.
35-minute game with no RPs. And again, I don't necessarily think that's his fault. Yeah. That's just the way that the team fights went in that game.
Oftentimes, it's in your hands as the offlaner to build these aura items like the pipe. And on heroes like Legion, they can still kind of do their job pretty simply if they have these items. But Mag, on the other hand, you're not buying, like they're first off drafting against you, so they're going to make it hard to RP in the first place. But then you're also not buying these mobility items like Blink Daggers and Shadow Blades and these types of positioning-based tools that make it easier to get that RP off. So all these things combined, I'm on the same page as you. I think it's just a better 4-position hero. We even seen it play at 5, I think, a few times this tournament, too.
Absolutely. No, I think you mentioned the Legion Commander. The other direction that they went yesterday and that 33 has played in the past is the Bristleback.
Yeah.
We talked about this yesterday in a Jug draft. Jug struggles against heroes that can just straight up man fight him.
Yeah.
You can just stand there, Ursa, PA, and just trade hits. And Bristleback, again, in these fights, just sustain physical damage. You know, Jug can't spin away from everything.
So they banned the Death Prophet instead, so they're more afraid of the group-up potential from Alliance early on. I don't mind that approach, right? They always do that, and as the mag lineup, the only thing that can really go wrong is you lose towers before you're online. The one thing you were talking about with Void, right, is he's not a hero that flash farms the jungle. I think his weakest stage in the game is like 5 to 10 minutes, where he either doesn't have Chrono or he used it already once, and he doesn't have any items to really fight you all that well, and he doesn't defend his own tower. So he wants to be able to occupy that lane a little bit longer, though, like we said, because he can't farm the jungle. And picking these heroes that naturally rotate to his lane, Jug is actually pretty good at that. I really like that general mentality when drafting against Void.
Just put him under pressure all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
I agree with what you said, but that's partly why I'm not a huge fan of this Lich pick, because Lich signals that you want that really super strong static lane in the Lich Jug, but Lich is not a hero that's really great when he has to make those early game rotations, and I think that's having some roaming potential is so key.
I like the Shadow Demon because you can potentially run it as the 4 position in the lane against the Lich Jug.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is a Gambit special, a hero that FNG loves, a hero that allows them to control the tempo of the game. This, when you talk about Alliance liking to 5-man, is a great answer. But again, you mentioned the Shadow Demon. I'm just going to make the quick observation. Gambit right now have all their eggs in the Jug basket.
Yes.
All 3 heroes on Alliance crush spell immunity.
Yes, I agree with that. And also, Void naturally kind of itemizes against Tree. That's why I'm not a huge fan. I'm almost certain that Nico Baby's going to go for a standard Diffusal Manta. That he goes Diffusal more often than most of these other players on the Void. But Manta, pretty much a necessity against the Treant Protector. Too many, not only are they roots, but his ult also pierces BKB. So you don't really want to have to BKB or hold your BKB just for the root, right? Otherwise, you're at threat of just getting bursted down.
And super important, right? When you're talking about those item builds on Void, his farming numbers are still insane.
That's the crazy part, right?
Yeah.
We talked about it with Hector yesterday too, when he went Spectre, and the efficiency on these top tier carries is just unparalleled. And I talked about Legion Commander as a save. I thought they might go like the more aggressive route with the Legion, but Abaddon's the same idea. Like, you pick these heroes because of their W button. You pick it so they can save the carry, they can potentially serve as a frontliner. And Abaddon, really hard to play with RP against, because if you RP Abaddon and somebody else, then he just ults and shields them. If you don't RP the Abaddon, he just shields them. Just makes the game awkward.
How do you play Jug in this game? Like who are you going on as Jug in this game?
I think this is the most like Diffusal important game I've ever seen for both carries. But Jug, the reason why I'm talking about Diffusal as an item, when you're these heroes like Jug that usually rely on just pure damage output, if you don't feel like you can actually dish out enough damage in a quick enough time to burst them, you want to make it so over the course of a long fight, they don't have any mana. And that's the best approach that I think with these heroes like a Bat and Void. Even if you're not killing them, if you hit them 5-6 times and they have no mana left, you may actually be able to win the fight despite like using your initial volley of spells. I think it's really important with the Cold Embrace, the Abaddon saves, as well as just the overall like time walk sustain. I think like first item defusal is really important here. And I'll stop talking about carry items. It's just my, pastime.
No, I honestly think how Jug manages to play this game is like the storyline of this draft so far.
I like the OD ban. I was thinking about it for the second round of bans, but there's just no way that Gambit was going to pick 2 cores potentially, and then also their mid. It's just too good against the Wyvern Void combo, and then also you throw the Abaddon in there. It's just hard counter to all 3 of these heroes because it just wants to hit you more. It likes these long drawn out fights.
So are we just going full team fight play on their side of the map with a mid dazzle?
Yeah, I was gonna highlight this. I was gonna highlight this. Like they have no clear cut like single target burst damage on the side of Gambit, and that's when Dazzle is the best, when he can reactionarily grade Razor. It's still like an enabler, right? Because he's this hero that he just removes Jug from the game. That's the goal. They're all, you said they're all in on the Jug basket, right? Why not just pick the anti-carry in the form of the Razor?
I think right now you just have to pick Queen and you have to hope GPK just goes off. Because you pick Queen for the matchup against Razor. It is one of GPK's comfort heroes.
It can't kill you without Chrono.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I was about, you took the words right out of my mouth. There's a lot of weight on GPK's shoulders, but he's proven that he can snowball that mid lane, and that matchup for Razor is real rough. I'm almost going to say if Queen of Pain is like 5-0 at 15 minutes, Gambit's going to win this game, otherwise they're not.
We are so on the same page. It's not even funny. I literally had multiple people before this tournament tell me this GPK kid, his talent is insane. He could be the next no one. We're going to find that out right now.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of pressure on him, but a lot of pressure needs to be on him if they're going to win this game.
Yeah, this is the perfect game to test exactly what I wanted to see in this series.
All right, thank you very much. It's time, ladies and gentlemen, to get into the first game of the day. The drafts are set. Our commentary team are ready. Cap and Blitz, it's all yours.
2 new teams, and the pressure is high here in the final day of ESL One Hamburg. Gambit versus Alliance. These 2 teams have showed a lot at this tournament so far, a lot of promise. Led by their 2 new captains. FNG obviously has a storied history. Fada, quite new to the role, has done very well for Alliance, having 1 dream hack. But can they, either one of these teams, push into the finals and take down TNC? We'll see who's going to be able to do so, as this is probably an even matchup, right?
Yeah, I think this is a pretty even matchup. I don't know if it's an even draft. That part it remains to be seen.
Are you full on with the panel that this is just a game that is entirely on GPK's shoulders?
I'm not sure about that. I actually quite like Gambit's draft. Maybe I'm crazy, but I like Gambit's draft a decent amount.
Never hurts to have Jug Magnus, no matter how many attempted counters there are from Abaddon. They picked up both the Abaddon as well as the Razor. Alliance trying to do what they can to stop this Jug, but it's never going to hurt having that combo, right?
Yeah, the only annoying part is like they don't actually have that many 4 staffs for their Jug, which I think is really important. Plus like SD's pretty good against Jug too.
While they do have some saves, it's not going to be the real hard saves. It's going to be FNG with the Frost Shield, who's going to be trying to protect people from the Razor and that Faceless Void. Takes a little bit of damage from the Shadow Poison as both teams try and set up to get the Bounty Rune advantage. Fada just aggressively pushing back the supports to make sure that they own this part of the map. So it looks like we're just going to have a split of 2-2. What does Alliance need to do? So you're kind of favoring Gambit's lineup. What does Alliance need to do to be able to win this game?
I think Alliance have to protect their towers, make sure that they're able to play 4-on-5, so you give your Void as much farm as possible, and to be very aware of your cooldowns. For example, I think the Faceless Void is the main way that they start fights. Like that's the sort of issue that I have with their lineup. It's like you need your void there at all times.
Yeah.
To be able to set up for fights. And you're very reliant on that chrono cooldown timing. So when they do go for 5-mans, like they have to get a lot out of it. Like whenever you have your chrono up, it has to be very straightforward. You take the enemy safe lane tower, you take the mid tower with the second chrono, then you push towards Rosh. That should be how you do things one by one. Whereas like I feel Gambit's lineup should, when it hits like the 25-minute mark, it should be pretty strong.
What do you think about this aggro tri-lane? I mean, I'm sure Abaddon would be able to beat Magnus one-on-one, and they don't want to tri-lane a tree and protector, but at the same time that they are really going to be able to pressure that Abaddon with this tree. And I'm not so sure this aggro tri-lane is really going to pressure a Jug that much.
Yeah, Jug glitch still feels pretty good here, and it really just comes down to like the level situation of tri-laning with a Faceless Void, which I think normally feels pretty bad. Like, I think they have a level-dependent core against a Jug that really shouldn't be able to die. Like maybe they kill the Lich, but what's your upside look like here?
Yeah.
And at some point they'll rotate the tree down here and win the lane anyways.
Yeah, once he picks up like level 2 or 3, then he's going to be a lot more powerful than the other supports.
Yeah, I could see a position where they just win all 3 lanes, because Queen of Pain feels very nice against Razor. Razor, of course, a hero that's absolutely meant to just like win lanes straight up.
Yeah.
But this is a lane that every time you get static linked, you just immediately blink back. You have your own farm mechanic that allows you to get the range creep at all times in the Scream of Pain. And 33 is going to get into this fight with Vampire, who, again, I don't think minds this position. And look, they're even getting aggressive on bottom. I don't necessarily know if this was the ideal situation.
This is a very powerful dual lane.
Okay, so now, yeah,
Juggernaut, yep.
Vampire's made his rotation down, which is what we expected. And this is where Gambit should just straight up win the tri-lane. Like, you can just spin on top of this Wyvern right here, get first blood, no problem.
They don't even need the spin. They're just going to be able to kill Hanskin without it. First blood there. And Dream still holds on to all of his mana.
Yeah, if anything, I feel like Alliance's like laning setup is making the game harder for them.
Yeah.
The Mag's got a big enough lead now where he should feel okay. Nico Baby's going to get gone on here.
They're going to be able to get the disruption, saving him a lot of damage, but still the soul comes out, and Vampire, he's not going to chase any further. They kind of already did the damage that they needed to, forced out a healing south.
Yeah. This is an absurdly strong tri-lane from Gambit.
Well, that means 33, he's going to have to make up the difference here in this top lane, and 1v1 against Magnus. Abaddon should be able to win this now.
But he's going to get a power, and they're just going to trade farm.
Yeah.
Like, he's been given enough of a start where he should be perfectly fine. GPK mid should win. I believe this is a very good matchup for Queen of Pain. You can't abuse the static link.
All the tree pretty much had to do was make sure that Shotchlo was able to get his
I like that.
farm.
The fort into pushing into the wave.
Nice. It'll keep Limp away from all of this CS. Bottom lane. A little bit more damage on Nico Baby. His CS is 14 and 6 though, so Nico Baby's actually done pretty well for himself despite all of the pressure he received from Vampire.
Nobody getting the CS there.
Attempted pulling.
It's always funny, like, they both nuked for it, nobody got it.
Just got to be careful with Dream, who now has level 2 Blade Fury. Our mid lane matchup 18 and 5 compared to 13 and 7, so GPK is already off to a good lead.
And this is kind of what you expect in this lane. Limp has to be careful here, because as soon as the Queen of Pain gets the bottle, the matchup becomes pretty annoying. GPK getting a little bit low, but should be just fine. Always has that blink to play around. I mean, they have 3 cores with an escape mechanism too. So ganks are not really a thing for Alliance. Like, I don't really know how they set up for kills outside of Chronosphere.
Yeah.
So your 5-man has to be real good when you get it online.
Nico Baby's gonna have to be moving around using that Chronosphere every single time it's off cooldown, right?
Yeah. Really
Some
nice.
games as Void, you can play a lot more chilled approach and just focus on farming more and only take the Chronospheres as they present themselves, but this is gonna have to be a much more active game for the hard carry of Alliance.
Vampire, he's going to set up for the bounty rune. I like this. I think they pinged him, though. They should know that he is here. Spada probably going to get...
Burger's going to show itself. Who's he going to go for? Vampire. Wants to be able to bonk Fada on the head with a frost shield on top, and the disruption's going to go down. And mid, they actually do manage to get the kill on GPK. Limp outplaying that lane, even if he does end up dying eventually here.
He's gonna
on the
tip him
Shadow Strike.
because there's no way that should happen.
Yeah.
That is, Limp is real happy about that. Like, if you look at the CS 23 to 21, things are going okay. But just dying like that, especially when you've got Blink up, he must have misplayed pretty hard there.
Well, that'll allow Limp to be able to reset that lane, right? That's one of the biggest advantages of trading off those kills. It's just resetting lane against a hero that harasses so much.
Yeah, and you get more XP. He's going to be real happy about that. Maybe GPK just overcommitted for the kill.
Trying to overplay this lane a little bit too much. Maybe the pressure is getting to him after all. He's a relatively young player to the scene. Only 18 years old.
They still have the gold lead, though. They shouldn't be too worried. Mag versus Baden is going to be okay for the Mag just because you've got a power. It's really this tri-lane that I thought would go slightly better in terms of Gambit being able to get kills.
Yeah. It's going to be kind of a rough time for Shotalo now that you have the phase boots advantage for the Abaddon as well as borrowed time. He can really dive the Magnus when he wants.
Yeah. Mid being set up for.
Vampire just getting some vision down. Looks like he's just going to focus on getting really aggressive vision instead of trying to gank mid at all.
What they're trying to, he's going to see the Razor come in. Still has his salve up, but
Limp, he tries to min-max this a little bit too much, and thankfully he doesn't. Just he activates the shrine.
still has his salve on him too, so he's perfectly fine.
Vampire just sticking around to suck up some of that experience. 33 is going to make his first rotation to bottom lane. They moved Hanskin to top to be able to get some farm. Nico Baby, he probably needs some levels too. But Dream has also rotated up to the top lane. They do have level 6 on Magnus, but he hasn't leveled up reverse polarity, so they can't really make a go on anybody here, I don't think.
Limp should maybe know about this tree being here, just because it's proccing like mad and nothing's really happening.
Push at top lane. Going for the tower now. The Frost Shield comes out. Of course, our Void. Time Walk is pretty free at any point. They're just going to try and cut the creep wave. But this is a rotation that just really does not look good for Gambit whatsoever. Shots. Oh, the bash comes out from Nico Baby.
Back-to-back hits.
Exactly what he needed. Meanwhile, 33 hardcore pressuring this bottom tower has gotten it from full all the way down to half already thanks to the 2 levels of Curse of Avernus.
Yeah, you don't love the fact that they rotated out like this, and they're probably not going to get the tower in return. Now Alliance doing a bit better with this, and this is the hero that I like 33 on the most this season so far.
Yeah.
Sabaton, it feels like he puts a lot of pressure in the game. He's not your standard like I press W on you, purge. He also plays very aggressively, tries to take towers with his momentum, like his Timbersaw game that we saw yesterday against VP.
As a result of the Magnus dying during his TP, they had to rotate GPK down to the bottom lane to diffuse some of that pressure on the tower. Does manage to get all those big creeps though.
GPK getting a lot of farm out of this, but his game should have been better too. Yeah. But by virtue of dying solo, it's pretty rough for him.
And this is not the lane he wants to be sitting in, right? Like mid lane is much better for him to be able to push out and then rotate to the side lanes, but as it is, spin comes out from Dream.
And look at that, he's just gonna get out because he knows that Nico Baby's 6. 3 points in the bash, very easy for him to die.
Gambit now. Seems like they're losing a lot of map control at this point. Fada does manage to get a really nice aggressive ward down with this smoke. Very fortunate for him that the smoke didn't break on that Juggernaut. It's always kind of weird having 2 cores in the same part of the map when you're matched up against this a carry that you can't easily burst down.
Yeah.
Because again, they still don't have the RP.
I mean, nobody really kills each other until the ultis come out.
Yeah.
Or we see like a big rotation from one of the mid.
Well, here comes the
Russia's doing a dash
Brazier,
here.
and they do
Gotta
have the
load it up.
Chronosphere if they want to be able to throw it out. Limp tries to slow him down with the Plasma Field, and they do manage to get a mid-skewer with the Chronosphere, but immediately protected by the Frost Shield. Great positioning from FNG. Now the turnaround with the RP as well as the Omni Slash, but there in turn, Hans concedes him with the Cold Embrace, and Nico Baby has a time walk off. He's still going to be slowed down though, and Dream is still going to try and chase him with the Blade Fury, and the first damage to GPK. He is dead. Alliance failed to be able to save their carry and might just be shoved out of this top lane now with the rotation of the Queen of Pain. They gotta get out of here. Look at that. Vampire actually laying down a tree for him to be able to cross over to the other side of the lane to keep that tree walking from Nature's guys.
Cute little move that enables them to get another kill. And if you think about it, both teams actually have really nice ways of stopping their carry's damage. Like you had the Frost Armor there combined with the tree heal.
Yep.
And you'll also have tree ulti later on into the game.
Disruption being used to cancel that TP. And are they just gonna leave FNG to die? He actually throws out his Chain Frost onto the Illusions, bounce around a little bit. It's actually just enough to save his life, perhaps, as the Shadow Poison.
FNG's going to be able to reset. There's so much save on both sides, actually. So that's why we're seeing a bit of a slower paced game from both ends as Gambit. They see Vampire.
Spot him, Vampire. He now has the vision on him from the static link. He won't be able to hide in the trees at all. He's going to try and go for a TP out. They spot him, though, with the dust. That'll be able to get the kill. 4-3 now as Alliance do successfully defend their tower again.
Nico Baby at bottom, getting a good amount of farm right now.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Siege Wagon push that Shoshla will have to deal with.
He's really trying to catch up just in terms of XP, too. And that kill actually slowed down his farm quite a bit. Dream, on the other hand, you're not too concerned about because he's going to get that mag and power.
Yeah.
So his game's going to accelerate anyways. And I think Gambit, whenever you have this lineup of Magnus Jug, you're always okay with nothing happening in the game. Like these low kill games where you're not losing your mid tower are almost always just going to benefit you. Which is why I'd like to see 33 make his way towards mid and just sort of get aggressive here and pull more heroes towards this side of the map.
Isn't it a little problematic, though, that Gambit hasn't managed to take the enemy's safe lane tower?
Yeah, for sure. Alliance, I think they've made the hard read that it's hard for them to just take that.
Yeah.
So I prefer...
That's why 33 is kind of camped up out here, right? He's saying, this tower is important. I'm going to be the one to stand in front of it.
It delays your mid defense, too.
Yeah.
But I think Gambit's still fine because you have the cleave.
Yeah.
You can farm Ancients. The triangle is a lot easier for you than it normally is on other heroes. Like Jug empowered with the healing ward makes it so that you keep up anyways, despite not being able to own those two big camps.
Yeah. You can own only 40% of the map, but still get as much as the opposing team just because the use of Ancients and such.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially if you do efficient stacking as well. You can see that from the network chart, where it is a very even game, almost dead zero. Hanskin, speaking of dead, gets caught out by FNG and GPK as he continues to just try and, defend this top tower. 33 is gonna actually make his way towards bottom. He still has a TP to defend top, but he wants to try and get a little damage on this tier 2 first.
Nico Baby's pinging right now, and if he does commit the chrono, keep in mind they still have a lot of TPs that they could filter in, and they've got the tree heal, which they're gonna actually pop on the tower. The downside for Gambit is they don't really have a way to punish Nico Baby's play right here, unless they've got the tree. But they're gonna be happy to trade this top tier 1 tower, and I think I would like to see somebody rotate down towards the tier 2 bottom.
Yeah, I mean, this may not even be a trade at all, thanks to the fact they do have that living armor. They can successfully defend bottom, but, you and I both want to see that, but it doesn't look like Gambit wants
The problem
to make
is
that
Alliance are
rotation.
set up down there,
Yeah.
and no heroes are showing on the map except for the Razor mid. So it makes it really scary for Gambit. Without any vision set up, without a lot of heroes, they'd have to bring like all 5 for you to feel comfortable about. And even then, you're at a vision disadvantage. Limp gonna get RP'd here, skewered back into his tower, into the tree.
Beautiful kill for Gambit. Should be able to lock him down with a Train Protector. Follow up the Yule Scepter. Self-usage there from Limp. That just sets up a Sonic Wave, and the Chronosphere comes a bit too late to stop that damage. And now, the Train Protector with just a great overgrowth to be able to stop Nico Baby in his tracks. A Winter's Curse to follow that up. GPK will be low, and he does have Shadow Poison stacks as well as a Purge on him. But the living armor, that'll help him live through everything. Now the turnaround as Dream pushes forward. trying to catch somebody from Alliance, but at the end of the day, it's just limp for a Train Protector. A good exchange for Gambit.
Yeah, and they're gonna get some damage on this mid tower. They saved the bottom tier 2 tower as a result, and your tree's gonna be able to heal that up. This is actually really, really good for Gambit. Any damage that they trade that's chip damage is in their favor.
And because of the fact that they don't have that catch you were talking about, right? They don't have the greatest ways to stop these supports. So many times they're trying to push a tower, it's gonna get frost armored and then healed up as well from the tree.
And you see them go on the Queen of Pain, but again, they have so many different ways to stop the Void's damage.
Yeah.
Even when he gets BKB. Like, he's gonna have to save the BKB until after the Treant pops his ulti, but if he goes in with it, then Vampire will stop any sort of shenanigans. You've got the heal from the tree as well, and the Frost Armor stopping most of that physical damage.
6-4. And Gambit do have the lead on their 2 cores. Juggernaut and Queen of Pain are a decent distance away from the Razor and Void networks already. Of course, our Magnus is suffering, as all Magnus lineups do. 33 is going to be forced to pop his ultimate here, heals up a little bit. Vampire sticking to the trees. Limp is going to drain him of every bit of damage he has, but doesn't have the dust to be able to reveal. They drop a sentry, didn't spot him. Vampire got to the other side of the trees in time. Kind of feeling like Limp's got to start carrying some dust with him.
I really like it when cores carry dust around.
Yeah.
I think it's just very efficient.
Especially the Razor against Tree, where you have
Exactly.
this static link to know where
Every
he's
single time
going.
it pops, you're just like, all right, that's a freebie.
Yep.
He's in melee range of me. It's a very straightforward set. As he's trying to get close to the tree line, it's actually going to proc, and he's pinging like crazy on the ground. Fada
But again,
doesn't have the dust.
no dust. Like, you have so many vision tools. You can plasma field, you can static link grab him and stick next to him. So many tools to be able to see the Train Protector if they just have the actual invis detection itself.
Both supports playing around each other, and Vampire's gonna maybe know about this.
A lot of sentries around, but to be honest, with just the 2 supports here, it would take every bit of spells they have to be able to bring him down. Just don't see that being likely. He is going to go for a Blink Dagger, which I think is a nice choice.
Gambit is so good at the vision game.
Yeah.
They get the immediate D-ward. Vampire gonna spot.
He's just running back and forth. Eventually, he's going to bonk somebody as soon as FNG gets close enough. GPK is here for the damage as well. Chain Frost is going to bounce back. Over to Fada, over to Hanskin, slowing him down as well. Thanks to the Winter's Curse, they might be able to get a turnaround kill on FNG, but GPK, Sonic Wave, will finish off Captain Fada. And FNG
I'd like them to come in
to
now.
the shadows, boys.
As fast as possible. Don't give up this mid tower for free, and that's exactly what they're gonna do. They've got 3 heroes parked here, but without...
Oh, the overgrowth actually being used there, but 33 can quickly take it off but borrow time, no problem.
They're just trying to get them off the tower.
Is under attack.
18-minute rune, okay, not even there. Shadow Strike going out just to harass Limp a bit.
And they're gonna rotate their mag up to top lane, keep their jug mid at all times.
Nico Baby is free farming this entire time, and now he can kind of keep pace with the Juggernaut. Obviously, the Jug has the Empower advantage, but now Nico Baby has his first farming item in Maelstrom, and now the second one in Yasha.
He's gonna go for the Mantis style instead of the usual build we see, which is like the Mjolnir and the BKB or something like that as stream. Gonna get aggressive on mid. Wants to be careful about using his spin.
Hanskin does have the Cold Embrace. He wants to be able to get a Splinter Blast off here, as he knows Dream is going to be slowed down by the Purge. GPK, though, quickly going to the back line. He's already taken out Hanskin. A nice skewer into the RP. That's going to be able to create some distance for Dream to be able to work around, but Shashlo is probably going to be sacrificed here. He gave up his line to save his 1 position. Nico Baby, though, may still be able to catch him with this Chronosphere, locking down to 2. Dream, he's going to fall, and FNG still stuck inside the Chronosphere. Is going to die as well. A monster win for Alliance. They needed to be able to take a convincing team fight to finish off this mid tower, and they should be able to do so now.
Just sticking around a little bit too long. There was no counterplay opportunity once 33 had his ulti back up and he popped it. After that RP, they got aggressive here, but I really don't like this play. Dream is just kind of walking up a hill, doesn't pop the spin, so Hanskin just kind of gets to get away for free. You know you're gonna get purged off.
Yeah.
And you just put the entirety of your team in an awkward position. There was a nice RP here, but Dream just back up entirely. You know that the Faceless Void still has Chrono up. And that was a really nice move by Nico Baby. It was his hesitation. He went back, forth, Wasn't really sure where he wanted to go or what he wanted to do. And Vampire, of course, used his ulti already. for that weird setup in mid. And Gambit should be pretty disappointed at that because they had decent control of this game.
It's one of those plays, right, that you just make a small mistake and then you try and rectify it by, you know, sticking around or making the team fight work, but sometimes you just gotta trade out an ally for your own mistake and call it quits.
Yeah, and such a good chrono by Nico Baby. Good game sense.
Oh yeah, great read by him. Of course, Dream, being another one of those newer players to the scene, has a wealth of pub history, though. He's been bouncing around the top 10 in Europe. See an Aghanim Scepter for 33 this game. It's kind of an interesting choice. We usually only see this against Faceless Voids, but he feels like with all this telegraph damage of the Sonic Wave and the Omni Slash, he's going to get a lot of value missed coils from this.
I don't think he's entirely wrong either as Vampire.
Well, they do manage to get him with the dust, and Vampire's going to use the Overgrowth to protect himself, but there is unfortunately not a whole lot of trees for him to work with here. Alliance get their 8th kill of the game, tying up the score, though they do hold a bit of a lead in net worth.
Nico Baby, time walks down. He does have Chronosphere, but he's done such a good job of even surpassing in net worth the Empowered Magnus.
Yeah. Do have the Diffuser Blade build from Dream. This is something that the panel very adamantly wanted to be able to see this build from them. And once he has the Manta, it'll be a nice power spike for them. But will it be enough? It's beginning to look like Alliance is just going to get Nico
You want a
Baby
Diffusal?
so far.
On the
Yeah.
Jud? I see. Doesn't that kind of hurt you though because of the SD?
That's a good point. But maybe it's because, like,
Isn't the
he's probably
Mjolnir,
going
like-
to be using it defensively a lot.
I guess. But like, isn't the Mjolnir really nice against like Wyvern and
Wyvern Cold Embrace, yeah. That's true.
Plus, you know that the Void's gonna go BKB later because he's against a tree. I don't know. I kind of thought that that would make sense, but I will trust BSJ.
Yeah.
He's just a better
Trust the carry player.
Yeah, exactly. He thought it out.
Gonna bonk Nico Baby. Dream, he's gonna come in, but they don't have the immediate turn. Oh boy, Chronosphere onto 2, but there is mass TPs coming in from Alliance. The damage just isn't there yet. They are gonna be able to skewer away. RP being threatened. Shotflow doesn't actually complete it though. This is looking like a fight that maybe Gambit is just gonna leave, sacrificing 2. But
FNG probably gonna go down 2. These heroes are very fast and they are gonna abandon him. It's a 3-on-5. Nico Baby easily gonna catch up here.
FNG gonna take him the opposite direction of where Dream is headed. He'll be the 3rd kill for Alliance. Gambit, well, GPK tries to do what he can, pressuring that mid tower and such, but this is looking like Alliance are gonna take full control of the map sometime soon. They're getting all their great items, the BKB Yules on the Razor. Our Void is very much online with his Manta and soon to be Mjolnir. So he's gonna have that big attack speed buff that makes him an absolute monster inside the Chronosphere.
All very strong on the side of Alliance, and I think they do want to set up with the next Chrono around that Roche fight. GPK blinking in pretty aggressively, but I don't know how much I like his item build either. Just the Orchid doesn't really pressure any of the 3 cores anymore.
Right.
And it's kind of nice against the 2 supports, but as soon as somebody gets Glimmer Cape, I feel like it sort of nullifies that as well. And as long as 33 plays well with the shield, which, you know, he will do, you bought an item that doesn't help out in pretty much any situation, I feel like.
Winter's Curse, mid-spin onto Dream. Now he's gonna be disrupted up, so his own illusion is gonna be a battle he has to fight through. He does have the living armor to be able to protect him a bit, and he's not quite slowed down by 33. Will be able to get that forced silence stack as he pops a borrowed time. Now the silence is on him. Nico Baby's gonna go for the kill. Does manage to get him blinking forward. Does manage to get the Train Protector as well. The right-hand side saved by the Cold Embrace. Fada will live through this engagement. So once again, Alliance are able to play a very clean fight. Getting kills and no deaths as FNG slowing down Nico Baby, pretty much praying he's not going to be bashed, but of course it's going to come eventually from Nico Baby. Cleans him up while Shotchlo gets run down by Limp as well. 4 dead on the side of Gambit, and Alliance is in full swing right now.
I think he got like 6 bashes in a row there.
Yeah.
Alliance is just a sick team. Like, they're still holding on to the chrono, so they can still go for bigger objectives if they want it. Everyone is so farmed on their team, and you can see Nico Baby on the hunt. He should actually time walk to the left here, and he might get GPK, and he does indeed.
Oh, perfect positioning. Chronosphere right on top of Nico Baby, man. He is just reading everybody in this tournament like a book.
Yeah, it's easy for me as a caster to make that call because I've got full vision, and I can totally tell where the Queen of Pain is going to go, but Nico Baby just has to game sense it and do it in the moment. It just goes to show you, they have no vision down there. And he's still able to read that move, completely knows what GPK is about to do. I mean, he made that play quite a while back.
And he's stolen a lot of damage here, but he is kind of alone. A lot of heroes showing up. 2 supports are not going to go into the high ground, but Dream thought about going for the Omni Slash, but again, because of Hanskin's Winter Wyvern, the Cold Embrace is going to be able to dodge all that damage, and that's exactly what happens. The Omni Slash completely negated. Dream just threw it out just because, and as the spin goes down, so does the Winter's Curse. Once again, countering Dream's every single move. He's going to pop the Manta, trying to get away, but the Disruption's going to be able to catch him, and eventually 33 will get the 4 stacks, allowing them to be able to slow down this Juggernaut to a crawl, especially with the Splinter Blast raining in. Now Shotchlo is going to be caught inside of the trees, and he actually skewers the Razor with him, so that means Limp should be able to catch this kill with the Plasma Field. Living Armor, given a little bit of time.
Nico Baby right now, he's just hitting Roche while his team is doing all of this.
Yep.
He's so confident that his team is going to win this fight anyways, that he doesn't even bother moving over, and he had plenty of time to do so, but he's so certain that his team's going to win that fight, that they're going to get the +1 going for Roche.
And now this is just looking like too much. Soon they're going to have the Butterfly on Nico Baby. They already have the Aegis, the Aghanim Scepter on the Abaddon. This is just looking like it's too much to
There's
sustain.
just kills everywhere around the map right now.
Yeah, Vampire's going to get caught like this. He's dusted up. There is a lot of trees to work with, but the Shadow Poison keeps on revealing him, and Fada will single-handedly get the kill.
And you can see why I want a Dream to go for the Mjolnir. Like, at least you get some damage in that Winter's Curse.
Yeah, he did not get hardly any Omni Slashes this game. He always felt a bit timid about the fact that Cold Embrace was going to counter him.
Every single time he tries to go in. And this is going to be a free tower for Alliance. They now have no way to fight. Shotchlo's just so far behind. And this is now the 4th time we've seen the Magnus offlane fail. I think in this main stage alone, teams keep going back for it. Alliance made the adjustment of making it Hanskin's hero.
Ah, nice 2-man Chronosphere. They're going to lead off on Dream, and then go for the back line of Shotchlo. And the Winter's Curse to be able to stop Vampire right as he was going for the Overgrowth, too. He might not be able to get that off as the Orchid, as well as the Bash is going to rain on in. Superior control from Alliance. And indeed, they are dead, all dead, and Gambit struggling to be able to defend their base.
When you hit tier 4 towers like that, by the way, that's the get out of my game move. You're simply doing that because you're telling them, like, we're not going to stop. Please leave our game.
Yeah.
We've lost. There's no further. We think we're so far ahead that 1 set of racks and a tier 4s is the play. Nico Baby just kind of chances them into going for the GG out.
Disruption. Skewered out over to the other side. Are they going to go for the dive? No. It's not quite worth it. Might as well finish up these tier 2s and keep the pace of this game rolling. After all, this is just game 1. Alliance really want to crush Gambit's spirit by closing out this game 1 nice and fast.
So far, so good. They have Aegis for forever.
Yeah.
They just finished the Butterfly. Nico Baby's getting some mangoes onto him. So the Diffusal is kind of annoying, I guess.
So now this just comes down to the reverse polarity. That's the only thing that could win a fight for Gambit. Some sort of great 4 or 5-man RP into the Omni Slash with Empower. The problem is, even if you do get that 5-man RP, at least one of the members in 33 is going to be able to pop Borrowed Time. He can then in turn wake up Hanskin with the Aphotic Shield, who can then in turn Cold Embrace somebody to be able to save a lot of damage there, or disruption from Vada or what have you. Purged up. Dream has to start slowly making his way backwards. Seeing need to be able to poke at Nico Baby and just force away this Aegis without losing anybody. The skewer in, the RP out, onto 3. The borrow time used too early there, but the Winter's Curse counter is going to be able to kill Vampire and stop any inflood of damage. GPK, oh, he just gets locked down immediately by Nico Baby with that first hit bash. Now looking for another one onto FNG, whose Frost Shield is really annoying Nico Baby right now, but it's just slowing down the inevitable.
They're gonna call it
as they are just going to run a Gambit entirely out of this game. A second Chronosphere going down, and that's it. Gambit, they have been thoroughly trounced in 30 minutes, 8 to 28. Remember, it was 8 to 8.
It was 8 to 8.
They got 21 kills in a row on the side of Alliance with no response from Gambit.
Literally 21 kills in a row. And it all starts in that mid-engagement where they decide to try to go on the Wyvern. They bleed 4 heroes, they lose their tower. As a result, they lose all map control. And then Alliance just picked them apart. You could see that Gambit, after they lost that mid tower, they just lost most of the fight in them.
Alliance just have been real monsters when it comes to this 5-man. They seem to be able to out-team fight almost everybody at this tournament.
They're so clean about it. And it really comes down to this 33 Abaddon.
Yeah.
I strongly feel that. He just knows how to play the hero. He knows where he's supposed to be at all times. He protects his towers. He takes towers. This guy's positioning on this hero is unreal. Because we've seen other people play this hero and it not look this good.
Yeah. Don't
give this guy Magnus, please. Let him be active on the map.
Yeah. And if you're Gambit, don't let him have Abaddon. 5-0 and 18 is 33's end score as the star offlaner certainly struts his stuff, protecting both Nico Baby and Limp. Any suggestions for Gambit moving into game 2?
Be more aware of that mid-fight. Alliance, especially with that kind of lineup, we've seen what they do throughout the season. They're going to take it to you.
Yeah.
You can't make those kinds of aggressive moves if you don't have the best stuns.
Yeah.
Shashlo is always going to get his RP countered. They don't have like these mini stuns or anything like that, so you sort of have to play around that tower and let them come into you.
Yeah.
Problem is, like, both of them, the best example I can make is they're both counter punchers in that regard. You want Alliance to go on you, they mess up the chrono, then you get to go back on them. If it's you pushing into Alliance and you get out of position, then Alliance's lineup will do the same thing. They're going to wait to bait you into their side of the river. You have to be more patient on that side. And I think they showed Gambit FNG's face for a second, and he looked so frustrated. I think he knew at that moment that they had messed up.
Yeah. One bad team fight is all it takes for Alliance to take over the game. Gambit got to be more careful heading into game 2.
Thank you, Cap and Blitz. We'll come back to them, of course, for game number 2. Nahaz and BSJ along.